Good morning, gasaholics. I'm Hot Rod Bob, and you've got gas, the Great American Auto Scene, coming to you live and direct, recorded actually, if you're watching this on YouTube or one of the other many platforms it's on. Please like and share when you do see it. I'm Hot Rod Bob, and gas has been around since 1990, and I keep giving you information. What's hot, what's not, what's going to be, what could be, and, well, what's happening in the auto world. One of the things that's happening is a lot of cars for 2024 are not returning. And some of them, 2024, may be their last year. One of those is a Camaro. Oh my gosh, Chevrolet didn't learn. Well, kind of. What they're canceling is the four-cylinder Camaro. Yes, there was a four-cylinder Camaro. It was turbocharged, putting out almost 300 horsepower, as a matter of fact. It was a peppy engine. I had that engine in an HHR SS, and I was really pleased with that. And the HHR weighed a lot less, kind of, than the Camaro, so it was plenty powerful. As a matter of fact, it had more horsepower than my C4 Corvette at the time, and got almost 36 miles per gallon on the open road. Was it a good choice to discontinue it? Well, did you ever hear that they had one? I didn't think so. And that was partially the problem. No one heard about the four-cylinder Camaro. They've dropped it. It's gone. Forget it. Don't worry about it. But remember, that was a heavy car, too, for that four-cylinder to pull around. So that did create some problems. And besides that, it was expensive. When you compared it to a V8 Camaro, just for a few bucks more a month in your payment, you had a V8. But let's move on to some of the other cars that, in my estimation, not so interesting to start with. But BMW, they're dropping the Alpina B7. Okay, how's that going to affect you? You never even heard of it. Unless you're a BMW fan, you didn't. Alpina is the performance division or image company for BMW. And many of the Alpina models, much like the AMG for Mercedes, were performance-oriented based on the luxury car. This one's going away. Will you miss it? Like I said, you didn't even know it existed. The Audi R8. Now, here's another car. This was a supercar. I drove one, and I'll tell you what, it was smooth. It was an excellent handling car. It was beautiful. It was also not very publicized, so not many people knew about it, but it was a low production vehicle to start with, and it had a cost of $250,000+. Is it going away? Yes. Is it going to be missed? Only by the Audi aficionados, because you and I, well, we never even thought about it as an alternative. What's also going away was their entry-level sports car, the TT. Now, I thought this was a cool-looking car, especially when it first came out. It was reminiscent of the early 356 Porsches, very rounded in its design. It got a little bit sharper over the years. They got the Quattro version with all-wheel drive, which made it an outstanding handling car. It had some issues at first. The round body shape was very aerodynamic. It was so aerodynamic, it started to fly. So they had to add a rear spoiler to keep the back end down on the ground. Is that a problem? No. Is the Audi TT a neat car? In my estimation, yes. Is it something you or I would probably buy? Not really, no, but it was a cool-looking little car anyway. Chevy EVs. Yes, they're getting rid of two of them. The plug-in and the regular EV Bolt. They're gone. No more. They really didn't sell well to start with, and now they're going away. Because why? Well, even though California says a good majority of the new vehicles sold this last year were EVs, they weren't buying the Bolt. It was richer people buying Teslas and things of that nature where the price tag was $50,000+. If you could afford a Bolt EV, you could afford a real car, not a big golf cart. And that's what happened. The Turbo Camaro, we just talked about it, that little four-cylinder, it's tough because it was about the same price as a V6, and the four-cylinder had just under 300 horsepower, whereas the V6 had 335 horsepower. What would you do? You'd go with the V6, or you'd actually step up and buy the V8. Well, in the 2024 model year, it's gone. So long. Now, here's one that really kind of bothers me. And it's because I'm seeing Fiat, or Stellantis as they're now known, is killing off the Chrysler Corporation. Believe it or not, accept it or not, that's up to you, but I've got more information to prove that it is happening. The Chrysler 300. Now, here's the car that we all know existed, but no one knew it still existed. In 2023, this current year, they only sold 2,300 units. 2,300 in today's market? Well, again, did you see any advertising for it? Did you see any promotions for it? Did you see anything at all that hinted that they even had this vehicle? No. So you close in on killing a car by not letting people know you have the car. The Chrysler 300 was a kissing cousin to the Dodge Charger. It's gone. But wait, there's more. The Dodge Charger also goes away. That's right. Why continue producing a car that people want to buy? That is the Fiat way. Now, Fiat's getting a lot of the blame for it because they're easy to remember, but Stellantis, the corporate company or the parent company now of Chrysler, is made up of a number of different car companies that failed in the United States. That's right, Peugeot. Nice car. Didn't make it in the U.S. Citroën. Interesting car. Quirky styling. Didn't make it in the United States. Fiat. Proved a number of times no one wants Fiat. They brought in the 500. It was here for a few years. It's gone. They brought in the EV version of it. It was here for a few years. It's gone. So Fiat has not understood and never will understand the U.S. market. And they're proving that now by killing off the Dodge Charger, the Dodge Challenger, and the Chrysler 300. Now, rumors persist that the Charger will come back next year as a two-door coupe. It's very stylish, good looking, but it's a two-door coupe. We've come to know the Charger lately, since its introduction in the early 2005 era, as a four-door sedan. Now, it did come out as the Magnum wagon at first. The supercharged V8 engine has made this car quite popular. Now, it's also hit the top 10 list in deaths per 1,000 vehicles. Yes, they don't qualify that by saying these are high-speed single-vehicle accidents or someone driving over their head, but it's there. So is the Chrysler 300, and so is the Challenger. Now, are the cars unsafe? No, not really. They meet the same crash standards as everybody else. How are they being used? That's the issue. And I think many people can buy these cars, and they've run out of talent before they ran out of horsepower. And usually a light pole or something of that nature showed them that. But the cars are gone after the end of this year. Now, rumor is the Charger returns as an EV. Okay. Or an inline turbocharged six-cylinder with 400 plus horsepower. Could that be alternative? It can, but are Chrysler enthusiasts and Dodge enthusiasts going to accept an inline six-cylinder in a Dodge Charger? Well, that remains to be seen. It also remains to be seen if the car actually sees the light of day. It's been on display. There have been some spy photos leaked out. Whether it hits the streets or not, well, we're going to have to see. At this point, Chrysler people are pretty close-lipped on it, especially the gasoline-powered version. Now, just to add to this, all Hellcat line vehicles are gone. The supercharged Hemi is dead. Why continue to produce an engine people are enamored with? Why continue to produce an engine you have product, you've registered the ID? Hemi is a registered name for Chrysler. Why continue building it? Well, people might buy it. We wouldn't want that. What we're seeing is Fiat or Stellantis doing to Chrysler what Chrysler did to AMC and what AMC did to Willys. That's right. Think back. Go back in history. Willys produced cars. They also produced the Jeep. AMC became the major company or the conglomerate that Willys became part of. Now, along with that was Nash. And what did AMC do? Nash went away. They kept the Willys as the Jeep. They dropped the name Willys and just called it a Jeep and made four-wheel drive vehicles, dumping the cars. Not that the Willys cars had that much to offer at that point in time, but, think about it for a second. You could have capitalized on the history. Enthusiasts really liked the Willys coupes, the Willys Americar. It's gone. Well, it was gone a long time ago, but you can see AMC got rid of everything from Willys Corporation, Nash, and so forth, and just kept the Jeep. When Stellantis, Fiat, acquired the Chrysler Corporation, what did they do? Well, they kept the cars going for a while, but it was the Challenger, the Charger, and the Chrysler 300. The compacts in between there, the Neon and so forth, they disappeared quietly into the sunset. Well, what's happening now at Stellantis? There are no Dodge cars. There are no Chrysler cars. It's gone. Will they come back? Well, time will tell, and we'll see. If they do come back, it's going to be a real limited edition or a limited production car because, frankly, Chrysler cars are gone. And Stellantis has killed them. Now, this one really is going to hit you hard. The Ferrari F8 Turbo. No. I didn't even know they even made it, but it's gone. So much for the F8s. Now, add to that, they've dropped the Ferrari Portofino M. It's a roadster, convertible. It's gone. Oh, well. 612 horsepower, plenty of power. But unless you've got a seven-figure income, you couldn't afford to buy it anyway. All right, Ford's dropping the Ford Edge, their midsize SUV. In the market where SUVs are climbing in popularity, this one is going away, at least for the U.S. market. Now, Ford will continue to produce this for the Chinese market with a little bit longer wheelbase. Now, it's okay. Will we miss it? Probably not. If you're listening to this, you may own an SUV, but that's not one high on your list. The Ford Fiesta, now it's been gone from the U.S. market since 2019, and in Europe, it was still produced in an array of different models, including a two-door hatchback, which we never got to see. The Fiesta we got the early Fiestas, but the Fiesta that we had up until just a few years ago, 2019 actually, was a four-door. They did have a turbo version. It was a good little handling car. It was a fun little car to drive. Ford got rid of it along with the Focus. And the only car that Ford actually produces is the Mustang. That's right. No Crown Vics, no Focus. Hocus pocus, there's no Focus. And the rest is trucks and SUVs. The Genesis. Now, many of you don't even know what a Genesis is. It's a glorified Hyundai. It's a very expensive Hyundai. It's not sold through Hyundai dealers, and it's going away, the G70 version. Why? Who knows? But they're getting rid of it, and it had a V6 with 365 horsepower and a 2-liter with 252 horsepower. It wasn't a bad-looking sedan. Had no resemblance to any other Hyundais on the market. It was a luxury car to compete against BMW, and financially, price-wise, that is, it did compete against the BMWs. As a matter of fact, it's sold through high-line dealers such as Maserati dealers, Bentley, and Rolls dealers. It didn't sell through your local Hyundai dealer, so many people don't even know or realize it's just a Hyundai. Oh, well. Kia Stinger. Now, this was an interesting car. Kia, not noted for its performance image, or any image other than it's a cheap Korean car, brought in a rear-wheel drive performance sedan. I got to drive in one of these at SEMA a few years ago, and I was quite impressed. Good performance, good handling. It was nice. Well, sales have not been that good. Why? Because no one looks at Kia for performance sedans. But it's there, and it may go away at the end of 2024. They've decided to keep it on for another year. See if they can build up its image. You've got to let people know you have it, though. Mazda CX-9, that was the 3-seat Mazda SUV. And again, if you're into SUVs, Mazda might not be one of those companies you look at, but they had one. So it goes away at the end of this year. Mazda also had an MX-30, and this was kind of a quirky SUV type vehicle that, well, it won't survive the U.S. in 2024. It's a compact SUV, but it's electric with a astounding range of 100 miles. I couldn't even get to work with that. Not many people could. So it goes away. It had a low price for an SUV or for a EV at just under $35,000. I don't have $35,000 to spend in a car with a 100-mile range. Sorry, can't do it. Next up, McLaren 720S. Beautiful car. You're going to miss it? No, because chances are you didn't even know they made it. But it was a neat little supercar, beautiful machine. It's gone. 740 horsepower. Wow. Mercedes-Benz C-Class Cabriolet. What's a cabriolet? A cabriolet? It's convertible. Is it going away? Yeah. Why? For some reason, the U.S. market is not really enthralled with two-door vehicles. And convertibles, well, you've only got a few states you can drive these things with any regularity. California, Florida being a couple of them. But do they sell well there? Maybe, but there's a lot of competition in the convertible market for a lot less money. So the A-Class, the CLS, the C Cabriolet, they're gone. Mercedes-Benz is dropping another one. There's another C-Class car. It's the two-door coupe version of that convertible. It's going away. Why? Well, the only thing they're leaving is the sedan, because in the U.S. market, it seems that four-door vehicles are the top sellers. Now, I understand it to an extent. I've never really agreed with it, but I like two-door coupes. I like two-door vehicles. I'm the minority right now. That's one of the reasons the Challenger and the Camaro are going away. GM and Chrysler feel that two-door coupes are not marketable. There's not a big enough market to justify them. Mercedes-Benz CLS. This is a small, compact Mercedes, and it's going away entirely. The entire nameplate will disappear, as well as just the sedan. The Mercedes E-Class convertible is gone. Again, is this something that's really going to affect you? You probably didn't even notice they existed. The E-Class coupe. This was a step up. It's gone, and it will disappear, killing the E-Class coupe sometime between now and 2024. So, hey, we're into November. They've only got a couple of months to make that decision up, but it's gone. Now, it will be the only true coupe in the lineup, but not counting on many four-door coupes. How could you have a four-door coupe? Well, they think they did. Nissan's getting rid of the Maxima. Now, the Maxima name's been around since the 80s, and I like the early Maximas. At the time, I worked for Nissan's corporate office, and the Maxima was kind of like a four-door sports car back then. Independent front and rear suspension, the 240Z motor with fuel injection. It was performance in a sedan. It was one of the first inexpensive, by today's standards, sedans you could drive, and it handled well. As a matter of fact, with a 5-speed transmission and that 240Z motor with fuel injection, it was pretty peppy. Now, later on, they increased the engine sizes. They went to V6s. Then they went to front-wheel drive, which was a travesty for that machine. Well, it's going away. The full-size Maxima will reach the end of the line before the end of this year. Well, we're at the end of this year, so it's probably already gone. Whatever's on the dealer lot is what's there. Now, it's going to be replaced with a full-size EV, but they haven't really confirmed that yet. So, goodbye, Maxima. Hello, I don't know. So what do you think? Now, here's some other discontinued vehicles that I haven't really talked about. Acura ILX, Acura NSX. This is the high-dollar sports vehicle that came out, shocked the nation with its mid-engine design. Beautiful car. They discontinued that relatively rapidly. They're doing it again. Why? Well, it's very expensive, and it's one of those secrets that unless you knew about it, you didn't know about it, and there are other alternatives in that price range. The Buick Encore, the Chevy Spark. It's a little compact car from Chevrolet. I don't know if spark meant that's what happened when you had an accident. It would spark and go poof, poof, but It's gone. Ford GT. Okay, an expensive, high-dollar, neat GT car, but again, limited market, expensive to build. They really didn't make any money on it, so why keep going? The Honda Insight, okay. Hyundai Veloster N. This is the little kind of sport coupe thing with 3 doors. Why 3 doors? Well, they figured the passenger side would make it easier for people to get in. The problem is they're right-hand drive in their home country. That lets you out on the street. Well, the U.S. market didn't really go for it. It really didn't hit the market very well. They had a turbo version. It was nice, but oh well. The Infiniti Q60. Okay. Lexus RXL. I don't even know what that is. Mercedes-AMG CLS 53. Mercedes-Benz A-Class. Nissan Rogue Sport. This is kind of a crossover vehicle. The Subaru WRX STI. This is a performance image 4-door sedan. And this was the performance leader for Subaru, something that they cut their teeth on with the enthusiast market. It's gone. What is it going to be replaced by? They haven't said. They're getting out of the performance market? It's quite possible. Toyota Avalon. This is the full-size Toyota. It's been replaced by the Toyota Crown. Now, I have a cousin who just bought one of those Crowns, and he's in love with it, really. It's got a turbocharged hybrid powertrain, and he's getting almost 40 miles per gallon driving this thing around town in Lost Wages, Nevada. He's loving it. It's quiet, it's smooth, it's comfortable. He's old. He likes it. Okay. Volkswagen Passat. Did you even know Volkswagen still produced the Passat? Did you even know Volkswagen ever produced a Passat? No, I didn't think so. Now, what's going away for 2025? We talked about this a little bit, the Camaro. General Motors didn't learn from the first time they discontinued the Camaro in 2002, so they're going to do it again just to prove it. Ford's going, yeah, go for it, guys. We'll be the only pony car in the market. And that's what's going to happen. Ford Escape, we talked about that. Maserati Ghibli. Okay. Mini Clubman. Nissan Altima, midsize car. Nissan Titan, the big truck. What's it going to be replaced by? They haven't said. Nissan Versa, another crossover vehicle. So these are the cars that are going away for 2025. They'll last through 2024. So if you really need yourself a Maserati Ghibli, this is going to be your last chance to buy one in 2024. I'm Hot Rod Bob. You've got gas. On this Friday, I'm getting ready for Nitro Revival at Irwindale Drag Strip. Nitro car is going to invade the track at Irwindale. They're going to all fire up at the same time Saturday night. If you're watching this before Saturday, head on over to Irwindale. Tonight, they're going to have the introduction of the honorees and talk about some of those that we lost over this last year. And then Saturday, car show. Going to be big. It's taking up almost half the parking lot in the pit area at Irwindale Drag Strip. And we'll have nitro cars all firing up at sundown on Saturday night. Come on out to Irwindale Drag Strip. I'm Hot Rod Bob. You've got gas, the Great American Auto Scene. Please like, share, and give me your comments. What do you think about gas? Gas, the Great American Auto Scene since 1990. I'm Hot Rod Bob, and you've got gas. That makes you a gasaholic. You have a great day. If I don't see you this weekend at Irwindale, have a great weekend. Enjoy your car hobby.